وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما أرسلنا في قرية من نذير إلا قال مترفوها إنا بما أرسلتم به كافرون وقالوا نحن أكثر أموالا وأولادا وما نحن بمعذبين قل إن ربي يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء ويقدر ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون وما أموالكم ولا أولادكم بالتي تقربكم عندنا زلفى إلا من آمن وعمل صالحا فأولئك لهم جزاء الضعف بما عملوا وهم في الغرفات آمنون والذين يسعون في آياتنا معاجزين أولئك في العذاب محضرون قل إن ربي يبسط الرزق لمن يشاء من عباده ويقدر له وما أنفقتم من شيء فهو يخلفه وهو خير الرازقين صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Saba. وما أرسلنا في قرية من نذير إلا قال مترفوها إنا بما أرسلتم به كافرون. Allah is saying to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that before you many Anbiya came and this was the case with everyone. وما أرسلنا في قرية من نذير إلا قال مترفوها إنا بما أرسلتم به كافرون. We did not send a warner to a township, but said those who lived a luxurious life in it, we reject what you have been sent with. This has been the case with the previous Anbiya, and this was the case with the Prophet ﷺ, that the rich people, the people who have plenty and abundance in this life, they generally turn towards kufr. It is mentioned that before the Prophet ﷺ invited people towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there was two people in Makkah, and before the Prophet ﷺ, one of them had moved to the outskirts or away from Makkah. And then when the Prophet ﷺ came and he started inviting people towards the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this person who had stayed in Makkah got a letter from the one who had moved away. And he said that, asking, who is this Nabi and what does he, who has believed in it? And this person wrote that, very happily he wrote that among the Quraysh nobody has believed. Very few people have believed among the Quraysh, because Quraysh were understood to be the more respectable, the more honorable, the more worldly, more achieved and accomplished people. He said that most of the Quraysh, very few people from the Quraysh have listened to him, most of the Quraysh have not listened to him. This person, when he got this letter, he came hurriedly to Makkah and met the Prophet ﷺ and said that, what is it that you invite towards? The Prophet ﷺ told him the basics of Iman. He said right away that I bear witness that Allah is one and you are Rasul of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he told the Prophet ﷺ that I realized, I understood that you are a true Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of this one clear sign that I have read about the previous Anbiya as well. All of them, they were turned away, their teachings were turned away and ridiculed by the rich and affluent, and the poor people were the first ones to listen to the Nabi. And some ulama have said that upon this ayah was also revealed. Total denial, outright denial by the rich people. وَقَالُوا, and they say, نَحْنُ أَكْثَرُ أَمْوَالًا وَأَوْلَادًا. We are more in terms of worldly possessions, amwal wa awlad, and children. وَمَا نَحْنُ بِمُعَذَّبِينَ, and we will not be punished. So they used to present these two as evidence that Allah has given us so much wealth, Allah has given us so much children, that means we are accepted and beloved in the eyes of Allah, we will not be punished by Allah. Why would Allah punish us when He is giving us so much? قُلْ, say to them, إِنَّ رَبِّي يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. This is general. Say to them that in fact my Lord extends rizq or provision over whom He wills, وَيَقْدِرْ, and He straightens it, tightens it, or gives it proportionately or with a measure, which means essentially means that tightens it. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. It is by the will of my Allah, by the wisdom of Allah. It has no proof that somebody is more acceptable or less acceptable in the eyes of Allah. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Most people do not know. وَمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُكُمْ بِالَّتِي تُقَرِّبُكُمْ عِنْدَنَا زُلْفَى. Another angle of this is that neither your riches nor your children. So one is that having more children and having more wealth is a sign of being accepted in the eyes of Allah. The other angle is that neither are they a sign nor are they a source of acceptance in the eyes of Allah. That if we have more wealth and if we have more children, then we can become or we will become more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is also not guaranteed. That is also not given. وَمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُكُمْ بِالَّتِي تُقَرِّبُكُمْ عِنْدَنَا زُلْفَى. These things don't matter. The Prophet ﷺ has said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your faces, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your wealth. إِلَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. These things, they do not matter. They are not a sign of acceptance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They cannot become a source of acceptance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Except what does become a source of acceptance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Iman and a salih amal. Illa man amana wa amila salih. The Prophet has said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at your hearts and your deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your faces. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at how beautiful you look. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not care about how wealthy you are. Allah cares about your heart and your deeds. This ayah says, إِلَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. Except for those who, the thing that will make you near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Iman. How deeply seated Iman you have, firm belief you have in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how good are your deeds. فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ جَزَاءُ الضِّعْفِ. Just like you keep on multiplying your wealth and taking pride over it in this world, in the day of judgment, in the hereafter, Allah will multiply their rewards. You take pride over worldly things, Allah will make them pride, Allah will make them happy, Allah will give them pride over multiple reward, multiplication of reward. فَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ جَزَاءُ الضِّعْفِ بِمَا عَمِلُوا. Over what they did, because of what they did. وَهُمْ فِي الْغُرُفَاتِ آمِنُونَ. Ghurfa is, one meaning is room, but it's a special room, upper chamber, a higher class room. So just like you isolate yourself from commoners in this world, Allah will elevate and raise those people in ghurufat, in higher upper chambers of Jannah. Aminun, very peaceful, very secure, without any trouble. They will be at perfect peace. Herein, a subtle hint is that your wealth and your possessions and your children will not bring you peace in this world. And this is what happened with Abu Lahab. This is what happened with a lot of kuffar, that their wealth became a source of punishment for them. Allah has mentioned in the Quran as well that don't wonder about their wealth, don't wonder about their children. Our intent is that we'll punish them through these. So the children become a source of punishment. The wealth becomes a source of punishment. But for the people who do good deeds, have faith and do good deeds, Allah will raise them to higher chambers of comfort and luxury, multiply their rewards, raise them to higher chambers of luxury and comfort, and they will have aman there. They will have perfect peace and security, which you cannot even imagine in this world. وَالَّذِينَ يَسْعَوْنَ فِي آيَاتِنَا مُعَاجِزِينَ. Whoever, those people who struggle or fight with our ayat, strive against our ayat, mu'ajizin, trying to frustrate them. أُولَٰئِكَ فِي الْعَذَابِ مُحْضَرُونَ. They will be arraigned into the torment. They will be put into the adab, muhdarun. قُلْ إِنَّ رَبِّي يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَيَقْدِرُ لَهُ. Now this, more or less the same words, but now the intent here is, the address here is the ibad of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which really means the Muslims, the believers. Let's say to the believers. The first address was to the disbelievers, this is to the believers. قُلْ إِنَّ رَبِّي يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ وَيَقْدِرُ لَهُ. Muslims should also know that Allah is the one who gives more, Allah is the one who tightens the provision from among His slaves. And why does Allah do that? Allah has a proportion for everything. Allah knows who to give what and how much. It is possible that somebody who does not have the capacity, Allah will give them more and that will lead them towards kufr. Or it is possible that somebody is weak, and if Allah does not give them enough to get by in this world, then they will turn towards kufr. So therefore, Allah knows who to give what and how much. And Allah does it according to His wisdom. So do not lose hope, do not lose heart. Allah is in charge. Allah is in charge, and Allah takes care about takes care of you. He cares about you. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. It's not that you spend anything except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaces it. Therefore, spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will replace it. Allah is promising. And this is a general principle that we see in so many things of the world. Our ibadah sometimes make us spend money. Nobody becomes poor by spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they do it sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody becomes poor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always returns it much more, manifold. If not in this world, sometimes it does happen that we do not see an immediate return, but the return is there, fixed in the hereafter. A lot of times there's other examples. For example, Muslims slaughter cows and goats. A lot of, now Eid al-Adha is coming, so many goats and cows will be slaughtered. But does that reduce the number of cows and goats in the world? Never. In fact, Hazrat has mentioned in tafsir here, and I searched it, and it's a fact that there is more goats and cows in the world than cats and dogs. Although people care about the lives of cats and dogs and spend so much on their treatment and everything, and Muslims on the other hand are slaughtering cows and goats, but there's more goats and cows in the world. Allah replaces them. Allah keeps on replacing them, keeps on replacing them. So Allah is saying, وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. You spend your wealth, Allah will replace it. And this is seen, the ulama have said. The Prophet ﷺ has said that every morning an angel comes, descends to the earth, and makes a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That, Ya Allah, whoever spends, replace their wealth for them. Whoever spends, replace their wealth for them. So, when we spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah gives it more. Allah gives for them. And this is how it is, that those people who spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have become a hand in the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The real giver is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we are giving it onwards, Allah also increases our getting, so that we keep on giving. The Prophet ﷺ has said that Allah has told me that you keep on spending on people, I'll keep on spending on you. You keep on giving to people, I keep on giving to you. So this is what a believer should have. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. And he is the best of the givers. He is way better, worlds better, unimaginably better, incomparably better than any other raziqeen, any other ones who can give us anything. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين امين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين.